to look after your interests? Well, as predicted, I think Richard is probably just going to use the right-hand half of the runway. You can see him just manoeuvring across there. He doesn't need a great deal. I have no idea whether he'll throw in another knife edge pass. We'll just take a quick look at that, but you can't see him. You have to be on the far right-hand side. No, he's just going for a standard departure. So that's Richard off to, as I say, entertain the other half of the United Kingdom. A little wing waggle there just to say farewell. And our attention turns now to the left-hand side. And to tell you all about that, I'm going to give the microphone back to our great friend, Sean Maffett. Sean, hello again.
Thanks very much, George. Yes, Vulcan is lined up at the left-hand end of the runway. Flown today for us by Martin Withers, the chief pilot of the Vulcan to the Sky Trust. Chief pilot flying in the right-hand seat is Bill Perrins. And the third man on board is Jonathan Lazari, the air electronics officer. Very essential because this used to be known as the electric bomber. So we're just waiting for Vulcan to do her takeoff. And with a bit of luck, we shall hear the famous Vulcan howl from the 4 Rolls-Royce Bristol Olympus engines. Vulcan probably represents the very best imaginative thinking out of the box virtues of British aeronautical design and engineering. She probably represents the very best of the great British people. She's got on the nose, she bears the title. Did say, even when she first appeared at Farnborough in the early 1950s, she's as manoeuvrable as a fighter, despite being a large bomber capable of carrying 21,000 pounds of weaponry in the Bombay, which we shall see earlier. And of course, in the early days at the Farnborough Air Show, the great test pilot Rowley Falk did actually roll her as part of his display. But eventually they decided that wasn't quite appropriate. She could still roll these days, she's perfectly capable of it, but we're not allowed to do it by regulation. But you will see some quite steep turns during this display today. She's going to come flying past in a moment at about 300 knots, 345 miles an hour. Top speed was 640 miles an hour, not quite the speed of sound, about Mach 0.97. So the extraordinary thing is the shape that was to become this magnificent aircraft was first drawn on a scruffy piece of paper in 1946 by the same man who designed the fantastic length. And the really extraordinary thing is when you picture the Lancaster bomber, which is a sort of typical Second World War